Minotaurs, beware!
The Sanguinor is flying in to save the day! Woo! Our Lamenter take on the Sanguinor is coming along nicely. With its armor and its vibrant power sword standing out on the battlefield, I think it makes an impact for the morale of the Lamenters. However, like I mentioned in my last video, I want to elevate the model with some prismatic wings. I think I have some ideas on how to make it stand out on the tabletop, so let's give it a go. If it works, feel free to adapt it and try it out for yourself. If it doesn't, comment "Sad Angel" in the comments and throw a pity like on this video so YouTube gives us brownie points for trying. After comparing and contrasting different colors different artists use for their prismatic colors, I decided to use these 4 different types of shades and washes and speed paints. I'm going to thin them down with a lot of water and medium. And my hope, fingers crossed, is that this will come out looking real good. So, let's start off with our first one. Let's start off with this shade of blue. What we want to do is we want to take these darker blues and purples, hit them on the outer parts of the wings, and then we'll build up from there, from the dark blue to the purple to the pink, and then the highest points with this yellow glaze. With how much we're going to be cutting it down with the water and the medium, my hope is that we get a look that's stunning, vibrant, and colorful. So, let's get started with the blue. I will say, since I don't use a full water cup anymore, I've been drinking less paint water. If we put an actual cup back here on my desk, I'll probably fall for it again. Drop a little bit of water there. Oh wait, no, just a drop of medium. I'll admit I'm not sure whether I should be using Thin Coat Spirit Medium or the Glaze and Wash Medium. You know what, I'm paranoid enough that, why don't I just switch to this real quick. One of the fun things about mini painting is figuring stuff out on the fly, although I'll readily admit it can be a little frustrating sometimes. So I think I got a nice 2-to-1 mix of water and glaze wash here. So let's add in just a little bit of this shade. Ooh man, see how potent that stuff is? I'm afraid of adding too much, so it's easier to start with a thinner glaze and build up to make it thicker than it is to start with too dark a shade and make it lighter. So let's take our blue glaze, zoom in, and we'll start touching those feathers. That is definitely a little too thin, but like I just said, it'll be easier to build it up than it will be to thin it. All right. Boy, you can hardly see any blue on there. So let's make a little more. That got real boring, so thank me in advance that I'm cutting it out of editing. So let's go ahead and try. There we go. That is a nice thin glaze. That looks real nice. So let's go ahead and do it on the other side. Yep, just sticking to those outer edges. That's looking good. I think I'll take it all the way back to the outer edge of these outmost feathers, just because we'll be able to see a transition a little easier to the darker purple. There we go. That looks real nice. Step 1 complete. Let's give that a minute to dry. Let's give that a minute to dry before we move on to the purple. All right. The nightshade glaze looks pretty dark, but putting it on a test, it looks like it shouldn't be that dark. So let's go ahead and hit it between the blue and the next layer of white. Just start at the bottom, work our way up. Oh yeah, look at that. Not as dark as I thought it was gonna be. Let's go ahead and work our way back up to the feather tips so that purple plays all the way through. We're not gonna go all the way to the edge where we're of this round of feathers because we want it to hit the, because we don't want it to bleed too much into the yellow. Let's do the other side real quick. Oh, nice. Yep, you can still see that blue. And you can still see spots of that purple, so that's a nice dark looking, so that's a nice thin purple glaze. This is coming along real nice. Let's go ahead, let that dry, and then we'll follow that in with the pink. The pink and yellow glazes should be easier to do now that we're working with squeezy bottles. Looking good, looking good. Might need, maybe. Let's give it a try. This might be work. This might work. All right, let's get glazing. Oh, that's a pretty pink glaze. Yeah, I think we're going the way we want it to. Nice. All right, let's switch around to the other side. And then we'll give that a minute to dry before we wrap it up with the yellow. I'm really excited to try this one out. Allegedly, this is a lot like the Lamenter's glaze. What was it called? The Lamenter's yellow glaze that Games Workshop used to make in like the early 2000s. Allegedly, Duncan's recipe's really close to that. I tried making my own a while ago with 2 parts water, 1 part contrast Imperial Fist, 1 part contrast medium. So I'm real excited to give this a try, see how it compares. Let's go. So we don't need as much of the yellow glaze since that's only going on the tips. Perfect. Whoops. All right. Looking good. That's a nice looking glaze. Now let's make these wings shine. Looking good. That's a nice yellow sheen there. Blends into the other colors real nice. Want to go with the flow of the feathers. Looking good. Tell you what. These are some good looking prismatic yellows. And the wings look nice and shiny prismatic too. I'm real happy with how this came out. Let's check the back side. Yeah, looking good on the back side too. Let's do these ones real quick. Yeah. I think this was a good attempt at our first set of prismatic wings. I'm excited to try some more prismatic stuff in the future. I think this is a good start, and I can't wait to see what other prismatic projects we come up with in the future. Well, hey, thanks for sitting through this with me. This was a very fun experiment. What do you think? Have you painted any prismatic colors before? What's your recipe? Well, hey, thanks for spending this time with me. If you enjoyed sitting through this video, YouTube says you'll enjoy sitting through this one too. Hope you all have a fantastic day. Stay safe, party hard. I hope to see you around again real soon. Adios, broski. Bye.